Welcome to San Diego. This is the Oakland Regional. Second round action. UCLA in white. In the red, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Dick Enberg with Jay Billis just underway. First basket scored by the 7-footer for UCLA, Ryan Hollins inside. Farmar rattles in the three, and the Bruins jump out to a 5-0 start.
Well, a much different start for UCLA than they had against Belmont. They have come out defensively with fire and offensively with focus.
Bruins have won 8 in a row. Ronald Steele, the sophomore point guard for Alabama, all-conference. Defended by another all-conference player, Aflalo. Pass inside. UCLA takes it away. Long pass ahead to Aflalo. He saves. Farmar turns down another three-point chance, and the Bruins will be more patient. That's Ben Holland characteristic. This team has scored less and allowed less than any Bruin team in decades. And that arm bar in the back by
Davidson. Now the go-to guy for Alabama inside since Chuck Davis's injury.
Farmar has hit 3 straight from downtown. It's 11-4.
Farmar had 8 points total against Belmont. He's got 9 already in 3 minutes.
UCLA strengthened its backcourt, all conference, and Alabama on the front line. And many feel that Bama will overpower inside as Steele shows you his inside-outside game.
Ronald Steele put up 23 points against Marquette. And now Alabama going to go back into a 2-3 zone. They started out the game in man. They've been giving up some easy opportunities.
Introduce the players now. This is Cedric Boseman, the senior. He's the glue, consistent inside. Mbaumute, a freshman. He throws it away, trying to get it to Hollins. Steele, deceptively quick. Here's Philippe. The man who made 8 of 11 threes, and it's saved by Davidson. No, the ball had, or Davidson's foot was on the line when he went out of bounds.
Jordan Farmar, the ball usually in his hands, using the screen by Ryan Hollins and pulling the trigger. 3 threes to start this ball game. He has come out offensively aggressive, and when he does that, UCLA a much better team.
Oh, wide open is Hollins to hit that lob pass for the slam. Hollins has 4. Yeah, Farmar is not a brilliant three-point shooter, right at 33% for the entire year, but 3 for 3 today. Inside, what a pass again by Davidson, and it's Farmar inside to make the defensive play against Hendricks, who is some half-foot taller. Oh, that's a nice pass. 7 scholarship players for Mark Gottfried. Boseman hits the side of the board, and that's a shot violation. So the first miss for Ben Holland's Bruins. Their 8-game winning streak is second longest currently in the nation to Gonzaga. The Zags with 19. They're playing Indiana as we speak. And of course, you at home have the luxury of following that score top of your screen. Davidson to Steele. He's got 5 points early.
UCLA doubling on Davidson every time he gets it.
And Hollins with a foul, his first. Mark Gottfried has connections to UCLA. For 7 years he was an assistant under Jim Herrick there. In fact, his first 2 children, his 14 and 13-year-old, were born in Los Angeles. They're here watching and cheering for Bama as Davidson has his first point of the game.
There's Mark Gottfried right there. Can't get a seat up front. You also see Lorenzo Romar, the head coach at Washington. Steve Lavin, a television commentator, the former UCLA head coach in that photo as well.
95 national champions. Davidson gets 1 out of 2. And the rebound taken down by Aflalo. Michael Roll, another freshman in for UCLA. This is Roll. His strength is the outside shot.
UCLA needs to penetrate the gaps in this zone, make 2 play 1 so they can kick it to an open shooter. Right now they're just passing it around the perimeter.
Into Hollins with 8 seconds. Collison will try the three. Aboya, another freshman in the game for UCLA, touched it last. So Ben Howland has sent 3 freshmen on the floor. And now brings back Mbamute. So it's 4 freshmen with Aflalo currently playing for UCLA.
Well, 2 of those freshmen, the inside players, Mbamute and Aboya, very active on the defensive end and also on the glass. UCLA sticking with their man-to-man defense, which has tightened up considerably this season. There's the double team.
And from deep in the corner, Felix. And the rebound goes to UCLA out of bounds.
Every time the ball goes inside to Jermario Davidson, the leading interior scorer for this Alabama team, UCLA is coming with a double. Thus far, he has done a pretty good job of passing out of that double team.
Farmar with the ball back in the game as Aflalo goes out. So the 1 sophomore, Farmar, and the 4 freshmen. No musical intent.
1-2-2, 3-quarter court pressure by Alabama, dropping back into this 2-3 zone.
5-point game. 13:40 left, and Roll, who has really turned cold here since the Pac-10 tournament and the 2 games here, misses all.
One thing UCLA has to be conscious of against this 2-3 zone, you cannot just settle for jump shots. You've got to get the ball, whether by the pass or the dribble, into the heart of that zone, collapsing.
Evan Brock in the game. Ooh, nearly a steal by Mbamute. And Brock fouled before the shot. Brock, the left-hander from Roswell, Georgia, with basketball heritage. His dad, Ernie, played for the Globetrotters. Played college ball at Virginia State. And then with Meadowlark, Lemon, and Curly Neal with the Trotters.
Tough to get attention in that crowd, isn't it?
And Brock will trigger in the inbounds pass with the score 13-8. Steele sets up the offense, a new clock. Davidson, tough to stop in there. Mario Davidson.
And Dick, that's the first time that Davidson has got single coverage. Nobody came with the double, and he was able to score. Just turned right on Mbamute, gets the foul and the finish. The first time UCLA doesn't come with a double, they get burned.
And look how quickly Ben Howland sent Ryan Hollins back in the game. First foul on Mbamute. Mario Davidson from Atlanta converts the 3-point play. Number 33 with 3.
With Davidson, an interesting case. He felt he was a complimentary player when Chuck Davis was in the lineup, and when Davis went out for the season with a knee injury, it really helped the confidence level, if you can believe that, of Davidson. He likes to be the main option inside, and now he is.
Inside Mbamute, and whistle foul against Alabama. Gives us a chance to remind you CBS Sportsline keeps you mighty close to the action. Up to the minute scores, demand highlights each second round game here at CBSSportsline.com. Ronald Steele has his first foul. Bozeman, the senior, back on the floor for UCLA. So it's Bozeman, Farmar, Aflalo, Mbamute, and Hollins, the same 5 that started. Even though we've had many substitutions, Holland has his starting 5 back intact.
You have to have an awareness right now for Aaron Aflalo, the sophomore out of Centennial High School, the best shooter for UCLA on the floor. He can fill it up.
This is Aflalo. Sets up Hollins, and he draws the foul on Davidson.
What a difference in Ryan Hollins over the last 5 or 6 ball games. A virtual non-factor earlier in the season. Now he's getting an angle. Look how he moves Davidson up the line. And that nice pass from Aaron Aflalo, leading Hollins right into his move.
Hollins, just a 61% free throw shooter. You wouldn't know that by that stroke. Has his 5th point out of Pasadena's Muir High School, where he jumped 7 feet in track. Gets 1 out of 2, and Brock clears for Bama.
The last 5 games, Hollins has been a different player, averaging about 12 points, shooting 70% from the field.
It takes some players a little longer to get it, but Hollins has it now. Alonzo G's first shot rims out. Farmar, under 12 minutes to go before the intermission. Aflalo, not a good pass. And so he didn't really square it up before the three-point try.
That's exactly right. In order to give your shooters a good look, you've got to give them a good pass, get it in that shooting alley.
Davidson can shoot from out there, you bet. It's 14-13. Jamario Davidson was 6 to lead Bama.
Davidson is a confident big man right now, not afraid to step away and not afraid to take over either.
Bozeman, the ball was kicked. But Alabama, to their credit, has certainly pulled it together after UCLA jumped out impressively 8-0. Boya back on the floor for UCLA. Back to the action here in San Diego, with the winner meeting either Gonzaga or Indiana in the Sweet 16. 14-13. UCLA up by an extra point.
Ryan Hollins doing a good job in the middle of this zone, staying behind it, flashing in front, and trying to occupy Davidson.
Michael Roll back into the game, but it's down to 3. I don't know if Farmar, yes he does. He gets it off in time, misses everything. That's the second shot clock violation. Farmar yelling at Aboya as they go back on defense.
Well, he's yelling at Aboya that he didn't know the play. The play they were supposed to run was called special, and it was not very special the way that play was run.
Baumute replaces Aboya. And here's Alabama with its first chance at the lead as we click down under 11 minutes to go in this first half. Steele, what a pass to Hendricks. And Alabama leads for the first time, 15-14.
Boy, is there anything prettier in basketball than the well-executed pick and roll? It is almost impossible to defend when it's run correctly, and that was run perfectly.
Because of the incredible ball handling skills of Steele, who set it up. Fed his man. Here's Roll. Still can't hit the 3. And the rebound to Alabama.
Well, Hollins was right there for the stick back, but the little extra tick of the rim, and he lost his timing on it.
Inside to Davidson, to Hendricks, and he is fouled.
Well, Jamario Davidson is a terrific interior passer. You can see on the previous play the nice ball screen set by Hendricks, and
Michael Roll with the foul.
Steele turned it down, and Hendricks, the nice little slip to the goal and the pass, beautifully thrown, the catch and the finish. That was really well executed.
Non-shooting foul against Roll. We have reached the midpoint of this first 20-minute period.
Well, Davidson has a mismatch. He's got Collison on him. Let's see if Steele can get him the ball.
Steele so clever on the dribble. Gets the pick from Davidson, and then the roll. No, Steele will fire. Baumute, who averaged 8 rebounds a game, one of the top freshmen in the nation, top 3.
Davidson setting that ball screen allowed them to switch back and get the right matchups. Not smart.
Baumute a little confused there in the middle. Finally passes it to Alabama. And a foul against UCLA. They got Aflalo. His first.
And Baumute getting it in the middle of that zone, had nowhere to throw it, needed just to get it back out, but none of his perimeter teammates really presented themselves as receivers, tried to force it underneath, and resulted in the turnover.
I think they were expecting him to go up with a shot.
Sometimes it's a mistake when you don't shoot it.
Alabama 15-6 since UCLA started 8-0. Tide rolling to a 1-point lead. Oop, off Davidson's noggin, but he's able to control. Steele hawked by Collison, the freshman. An extra step there. Ronald Steele, the Iron Man for the Crimson Tide, averaged over 40 minutes a game in conference play. To give him a 1-minute rest is a week holiday. Farmar on the run. Hollins with the rebound. Puts it back. Ryan Hollins now with 7.
UCLA is a different team when Ryan Hollins is active because of his length and athleticism.
Bruins back in front by 1. So, gee, he was red hot for Alabama at the end of the season. Nice pass to Davidson. Hendricks. And the big men collaborate to give Alabama the lead.
What great hands by Hendricks, and he clears so much space. Hollins not strong enough to handle it.
Farmar way short, out of bounds off Hollins. Bama's ball. Here's Brock returning for Alabama.
Hollins doing a nice job of getting interior position out of the zone, staying behind it. And then Hendricks on the rebound, clearing that space out. And when he gets his mitts on it, he's keeping a great pair of hands on Richard Hendricks.
Here's a stunning stat for UCLA. No one has scored except Farmar and Hollins. Steele, Collison, such a good defender for a young player, a freshman.
So hard to get past him. He moves his feet so well there. He's using his hands, and Jamie Lucky caught him.
First foul on Collison. 7:36 remain in this first half. Underdog Alabama in the lead.
With Batista off of Morrison.
Killingsworth, they have not established him down in the post. Bumping bodies. And gets the soft jumper to fall.
Yeah, was that ever a tough shot with Batista? Giving him a little body bump. Every time those guys meet in the lane, they bounce one another.
Mallon, Indiana wanted to travel. Batista, soft touch of his own.
Sure was, and nice position. Once again, he body bumped Killingsworth. These guys are really getting to know one another in the post.
12 points for Batista. Adam Morrison. The rest of the team is lifting this Gonzaga squad here in the first half. Not Morrison. Killingsworth, ball fake. And it's taken by Batista off the carry. Rivio. Just over a minute to go in this first half. Mallon, perfectly done. Excellent setup by Knight on the feed.
And how about the catch and body work by Mallon, just to catch it and go.
Callaway knows where to find spots on the floor. And Earl Callaway able to hit the jump shot.
Second game in a row that Callaway is really impressing in terms of running the show and making good decisions down the floor.
He's the high man for Indiana with 9, but Gonzaga getting it from unexpected sources in this first half in Salt Lake. Time for our Southwest Airlines sideline report. Nobody questions the competitive fire of Adam Morrison. If anything, Mark Few says every now and again we got to ratchet him down a couple of notches. But in that first round win over Xavier, some Musketeer players took exception to some of the trash talking from Morrison. And he's been chatting away here today as well. He apologized to a couple of the players. Nobody ever came out and said publicly what was spoken in that first round. But it is a developing theme here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and he gets the emotions going. We've seen that tonight a little bit in the first game. He really got pumped up, especially in the last 8 minutes of that basketball game.
Rivio, shot clock down to 11. And that doesn't drop for him. Rebounded by Killingsworth. Indiana can hold for 1.
Pretty good work on the glass by Indiana that trip. Let's see if they can get it quickly to Killingsworth. They're going to spread the floor instead.
Trying to end the half on a high note with 10 seconds to play, down by 7. Monroe, 6 seconds left.
Back to a zone.
Ratliff, 3 seconds. Killingsworth, backdoor. Sewer with a twirling move underneath the rim. And it wasn't close. End of the first half. Gonzaga 38, Indiana 31. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel with Singular at the half. Coming up after these messages and a word from your local station. Our 25th road to the Final Four on CBS.
Tries the spin move, and finally the ball to Evan Brock. And he turned it over.
Well, Mark Gottfried has told his team, you're not allowed to be tired. That's against our team rules.
That's not even an option.
Bino Dick, in the NCAA tournament, the timeouts are a little bit longer than they are during the regular season. So you can take advantage of that and get a little bit of extra rest.
UCLA with 3 points in the last 9 minutes.
UCLA doing a lot of standing against this zone. They need more movement.
Down to 10 on the shot clock. Baumute to Collison. Feeds it underneath, and Noboya misses. comes Ronald Steele. Oh, and dribbling out of bounds. No, it was touched last by UCLA. Looked as if Evan Brock had lost control.
This Alabama team is long and athletic. And Cedric Bozeman knocking the ball away from behind as Brock went around him.
Feared that Brock may have touched it last, but nevertheless, Bama. 1-point lead. Both teams having trouble scoring here in the last 3-4 minutes. To Leaks. He's short on the 3-point attempt. Out of bounds to UCLA. Well, the Bruins started 5 for 5 and now are 1 for the last 10. That zone defense employed by Mark Gottfried, very effective. It's not his style. He loves the man-to-man, but what an effective defensive move.
Well, it has to protect those big guys from foul trouble.
Farmar to Collison for 2. 3. That'll be a 3. And that's his favorite spot, deep in the corner.
And the penetration really created that opening.
Davidson certainly has the height advantage. And Amute throws it away, anticipating Steele was going to back out into 3-point.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to our New York studios for Singular at the Half. Greg Gumbel along with my partners Clark Kellogg and Seth Davis. Game going on out in San Diego has Alabama trailing UCLA by 2. Let's send you out there and join Dick Enberg and Jay Billis.
5:41 remaining in the first half. UCLA, Alabama in a struggle. Neither team able to score much. 19-17 Bruins with the ball in white. Dick Enberg, Jay Billis here in San Diego's Cox Arena. Pass underneath, and Hollins gets another easy one. Well set up by Bozeman. He has 9. That matches Farmar for the top total for UCLA.
UCLA doing a really nice job of screening against the zone. Alfred Aboya coming up to set that high ball screen against the top of that zone. It's causing Alabama to scramble and opening up some driving opportunities. Here's the drive by Bozeman, the pass to the other side of the lane, and Hollins has been doing a great job of having his hands ready and staying active. And when you've got your hands ready, you're a much better finisher as a big guy.
Meanwhile, Ronald Steele fouled by Darren Collison, who goes to the bench with 2 fouls. And Steele almost automatic at the line for Alabama. He's shooting 89% on the year. He's missed only 14 of 129 attempts.
This is one tough-minded player, and he is fundamentally sound. Had 18 assists in a game last year as a freshman. That's stunning.
Zone defense for Alabama has been most effective after UCLA hit 8-0 lead against the man-to-man. Mark Gottfried making the change. Aboya throws it away. Ben Holland, who has been a 3-year program success everywhere he's gone as a head coach. Remarkably at Northern Arizona, then at Pittsburgh, and now at UCLA. Look at that. Coach of the year in his 3rd year at those 3 institutions. And look at the records. 21-7, 29-6, 28-6.
Well, Ben Howland really believes that the 3rd year is the key year in a rebuilding project. You've had the players in the program for 3 years. You've had 2 recruiting classes come through, and it's happened again here at UCLA.
There's a good fast break for UCLA, and Bozeman on the receiving end. But it started back on the defensive side when they triple-teamed Davidson.
And Dick, when was the last time that a UCLA team's identity was toughness and defense? That is this team's identity.
Davidson coolly drops in the 12-footer, and he has 8 to lead Alabama, 23-21. And away from the ball, battling inside Davidson and Hollins, and it's going to go against Davidson.
The Fast break coming off the double team inside of Davidson. And as soon as that ball gets to this spot, everybody running down low. And the terrific pass and finish.
Aflalo, good outside shooter. That's Mbamute. Boy, he just, for a guy that's only 6'7", how he's able to outleap the opposition. Much taller.
Well, he's got long arms. He's got the wingspan of a man 7 foot. But more importantly, Dick, he's really active. He's bouncy, and he goes after every ball. He rebounds out of his area, which is unusual.
Watch Ben Holland on the sidelines. He's playing defense over there, but he couldn't stop Ronald Steele from banging in a three. It's 25-24, and Steele is in double figures with 10.
Steele primarily known as a distributor, but when the situation calls for it, he can really score at 23 against Marquette, and they needed every one of those 23. One thing this zone has done for Alabama is shorten the game.
And it keeps the players fresher, too. Batted out of bounds by Brock with 8 seconds on the shot clock. And that'll take us to our 4-and-under timeout. Mbamute, what a freshman class for Ben Holland. 3:06 left in this first half. UCLA by 1. And our Southwest Airlines sideline report. And here's a man that isn't playing, Chuck Davis, the 6'8" senior from Selma. Knee surgery in early January. Injured himself in the Ole Miss game. He was averaging 16.5 a game at the time. Senior leadership, and that's one of the reasons why Mark Gottfried, working with such a short bench, only 7 scholarship players. He lost another when Justin Jonas transferred shortly after the injury to Davis. But done a great job in being able to substitute appropriately. Mbamute on a gift pass from Jordan Farmar.
There is no evidence in this ball game thus far that Alabama is going to be able to play man-to-man and be successful. Every possession they've been in man, they have given up an easy UCLA score.
Jean Felix in the game for Alabama, having trouble. 5 seconds, the turnover. Jordan Farmar's defense. And what a difference a day makes, or a night. Jean Felix at this point 2 nights ago against Marquette had 17 in the first half, on the way to a career 31. He's 0 for 3 and a turnover today.
That's the definition of streaky.
You have all the good lines. Why don't I get those? 2:28 to go in this first half. Earlier on this court, a dramatic win by Washington over Illinois. And here we are, another tight battle.
Alabama going back to the 2-3 zone.
Aflalo to Farmar, survives a bump and throws it away. Felix, nice pass.
Oh, what a finish by Alonzo G.
G is 6'6" and can fly, a freshman from Palm Beach, Florida. Timeout, Ben Holland at the UCLA bench. 2:01 left, and the Bruin lead back to 1.
You say, oh my, it's OG.
Sunday night, tomorrow, 60 Minutes. Most American cities rely on the feds for protection from terrorism, not in New York. Why? Well, you'll find out tomorrow on 60 Minutes. I understand they have a feature piece on Tiger Woods as well. That's don't miss in our household, 60 Minutes. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Number 10 seed Alabama, very competitive against the 2 seed Bruins. Farmar hits his 4th tray of the first half. UCLA's lead is 4.
Well, when UCLA gets the ball into the middle of that zone, it collapses it, and then they can kick it out. That was very well run out of the timeout.
Jay working on Bozeman. He is quick. That'll be goaltending on Hollins. 2 more for Alonzo G. He has 4.
Nice little ball fake by Alonzo G. That froze the defender and allowed him to get to the rim.
Farmar looks back at Ben Howland, who shouts out the play. 17 shot clock as we approach the final minute of this opening half. Started all UCLA. Behind the back pass by Mbamute, and Farmar misses that three. And into the final minute, here comes Alabama with a chance to take the lead on a tray.
Didn't like that shot because Jordan Farmar going away from the basket. The last shot he made, he was stepping toward the ball and into his shot.
Foul away from the ball. Collision between Bozeman and Steele. It'll go against the UCLA.
Approaching a half minute to play, UCLA holding on to a 2-point lead in the Oakland bracket. We thank you for joining us here on Singular at the Half. Send you back to Salt Lake City for the second half of your game in just a moment.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
And this to tie for Ronald Steele as he looks for his 12th point of the game. And with 34.7 seconds, UCLA can use the entire time remaining. Shot clock off.
Mark Gottfried subbing out Ronald Steele for Brandon Hollinger so he doesn't pick up on a foul.
Gives them all of 34 seconds to rest.
Can't call him Iron Man anymore, can we?
Like a Caribbean cruise. All that time on the bench. And where's it going to go here, Jay Billis?
I would look for a Flala, one to get him going, but Farmar has been so hot.
Hollinger guarding him. Open is Bozeman. He'll take the three. Rebound to Brock. The long throw by Hendricks. Oh! Just off the front of the rim for the freshman. Well, Mark Gottfried's happy, and Holland clapping some hope as well. But what a first half. 30 all. Farmar with 12 to lead UCLA. And his counterpart, sophomore guard for Alabama, Ronald Steele with 12. But look at how close this was. End of the half. Thought it'd be closer. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York. After this message and a word from your local station, you're watching the Men's NCAA Championships on CBS. $50,000 of scholarship contributions on the line. Vote now. NCAAsports.com/Pontiac. Ryan Hollins now with 3 fouls for UCLA. Oh, Hendricks gets a couple of nice bounces for the free throw. And his 7th point. Hollins out. And Lorenzo Mata, the 6'8" sophomore, replaces him. His first duty today.
UCLA has to watch out for a press off a made free throw.
And a foul called underneath as they scramble for the rebound, and with a puzzled expression, Jamario Davidson, and he has his 3rd. And that's where Mark Gottfried just doesn't have all the cards in his deck. He just can only do so many moves, and if a big player gets in foul trouble, he's really hamstrung.
Well, you don't want to pick up cheap ones, but Jamario Davidson isn't going to be out for very long. He's going to have to play with foul trouble.
Aflalo has it stripped. Nice play by Hendricks again. Steele, the way he handles the ball explains how hard he worked as a kid and even as a freshman at Alabama. You could not find him without a ball. And there's Hendricks, the big freshman, inside to score his 9th point. And a steal in the backcourt. Felix ties it at 38.
What an athletic trap by Felix and Alonzo G.
Felix had 31 against Marquette. Didn't take one shot inside the 3-point line.
Wound up shooting 8 free throws as well. 6 of them off being fouled on 3-pointers.
Aflalo still without a point. Averaged over 16 on the season. Farmar will gun a long 3. Rebound. Saved. No, it's on the baseline to UCLA.
Richard Hendricks, not an explosive leaper, but he can clear some space and get that ball up and in off the glass.
Boya back in the game. Receives the inbounds pass. new look UCLA lineup with Mata and Aboya on the court.
UCLA may want to attack inside without the shot blocking Davidson in there.
Farmar will try another three. And timeout called by Ben Howland as Jordan Farmar now with 18 to lead all scorers. Timeout with 4.5 minutes gone in this second half.
Important than being a great player.
Alabama ball down by 3 and whistle away from the ball and a hold on Aaron Aflalo of UCLA, his second. And a break in the action here in San Diego. First,
Jamario Davidson becoming a little more active, pushed off the low block. The nice little inside pivot, and again the little Sigma move, and putting that up with his long arms, and Aflalo off the penetration by Bozeman. The penetrate and kick, he sets his feet, and he is a dynamite perimeter shooter.
At the line, Jean-Felix from the Congo, Western Africa. And his numbers were stunning against Marquette. Single-handedly sent the Golden Eagles home, 8 for 11, all on 3 points, 7 and 8 at the line, and 31 by far his best in his career at Alabama. Makes both free throws, 4 points tonight, and it's 46-44.
Even though Felix has not shot the ball well thus far in the game, he was 0 for 13 against Vanderbilt earlier this season and knocked down a late 3 double clutch. He is a conscience-free shooter.
And let's not forget how well he defended Steve Novak in that Marquette game at the other end of the court.
And now he's taking Jordan Farmar with that length and athleticism, trying to bother the UCLA point guard.
Skip pass to Collison, and he's long as he's returned. Collins trying to save, calls time before he goes out of bounds. Now there's another UCLA timeout burn. 13 to go, and Ben Howland's not going to have many in his pocket when we get to crunch time. We'll mark them in the #1 seed in the tournament, advancing over George Washington. Boy, the inside-out game of the Blue Devils. Again, just overpowering. Stop one, and the other guy beat you. Inside, Baamute. He just gets such position for a freshman. The kid that only played 5 years of organized basketball just seems so savvy.
Well, he very intelligently went right after Jamario Davidson, who has 3 fouls. Davidson really kind of backed off, gave almost token pressure on that shot.
Davidson perched on his spot. That's where he's made his last 2. Good passing interior, and G unable to get the shot up cleanly. Davidson rebounds right back to G. And a travel called as Evan Brock, a little extra skip going up for the shot.
Baamute has gotten the ball in the middle of this zone several times in the ball game with varying degrees of success. Right there, he goes right at Jamario Davidson and dares him to try to block the shot and maybe pick up his 4th foul.
4-point lead, UCLA and the ball. Michael Roll has returned to the UCLA lineup. There's the freshman Roll.
Here comes the high screen that's been successful.
Farmar for 3, well off the mark. And he's going to use another timeout. Hollins, now that's a costly save to spend another UCLA timeout.
Those are not always intelligent plays.
Here in San Diego, the Oakland region, UCLA has just called another timeout. Actually, Ryan Hollins, a man you see here, their center has called 2 timeout. The plays trying to go out of bounds to save a possession. So Ben Howland and UCLA have but one free throw left the remainder of the game. One timeout left the remainder of the game, and we get down to the situation where you're trying to force the free throw with fouls or call time. There aren't going to be any options for it.
Yeah, and that's always not a good play to jump out of bounds and try to remain with possession of the ball by calling a timeout. It limits the coach's options in late game situations. But right now in a close ball game, you don't want to argue with it, but you got to be smarter than that. Try to save it if you can.
Game is going back and forth, tightly contested since UCLA started with an 8-0 lead. And Alabama rallied to take the lead at 15-14. And a kick inside against Alabama. John Felix was on his way for a solo. And another timeout.
Dick Enberg was the voice of the Bruins, and everything was absolutely perfect.
If I'd only known I was a matinee idol. That's when I was singing Raindrops Keep Falling on Your Head. I still have Bruin fan being in an airport. I said, when are you going to sing again? I said, that's 35 years ago. What are you talking about?
All I want to know is, what was your Vitalis budget back then?
The grill cream. Thank you very much. I thought that was the first time we ever had a hairstyle. I thought that was great.
Boy, you didn't broadcast many losses back in the glory days of UCLA, did you?
9 years, 2 losses at home. Only 8 championships in 9 years. Boy, was I good in 19. Aaron Aflalo drops it down the bottom of the well. And he's hit 2 threes here at a critical time for UCLA. This is their biggest lead since they opened 8-0.
And right now, Alabama needs an answer, one to quiet this crowd.
Hendricks inside, and the freshman jump hook gets it back again. Another offensive rebound and a foul on Bozeman of UCLA. Second on him.
They may have just called out of bounds on that particular play, with Bozeman touching the ball when he was out of bounds.
All right, so Bozeman, no foul. Only 14 fouls on UCLA, 3 on Alabama here in the second half, as Steele goes up and misses short. Rebound G throws it up, trying to get the three-point play, and a foul on the Bruins.
Alonzo G just tougher on that play. The ball was up for grabs, and he went after it. UCLA can afford to take their time, but they need to continue to penetrate and get into the gaps.
Bahamute caught in midair, gets it into Mata, and Mata able to hit his first shot from short range. You see Steele handle the ball like this. He's so clever. As a freshman, he took a basketball everywhere, the a la Pete Maravich. Even to the movies, wouldn't you like to be sitting in front of him, dribbling as you watch the feature? Oh, see, clever. Oh, my, what a play by Ronald Steele, but they're going to call a charge on Steele. Ooh, I didn't see it that way.
A nice little crossover to get by a very good defender, and Lorenzo Mata coming over from the weak side to establish position and get that charge. That was a huge play by Mata.
Takes away a possible three-point play that would have cut the UCLA lead to 3. Collison, the freshman, now out on the point, with Farmar given a breather. Moves inside Hendricks and then loses the ball. Here's Felix. Just won't go down from 3-point.
Is quick on quick, and G trying to turn the corner, his eyes on Farmar coming over from the weak side, and just dribbled off his foot.
Meanwhile, Gonzaga leading by 7 in Salt Lake City against Indiana with 3 minutes to go. Winners to meet each other in Oakland on Thursday. Down to 9, 8 on the shot clock. Farmar penetrates. Aflalo takes it in. No foul. And a shot clock violation against UCLA. I'm sure that I'm not officiating this game. The fouls I see aren't called. The ones I don't see are.
Well, Aaron Aflalo definitely hit on the arm there. It just wasn't called.
8.5 minutes to go. Steele. Ooh, caught in midair. Turns it over. Aflalo with a free pass. One of the few mistakes by Ronald Steele. Caught in midair, had no place to go. And Mark Gottfried needs a timeout. To the delight of UCLA's fans and a strong contingent here, the Bruins by 8. And Aaron Aflalo has come to life here in the second half. The veteran for the Bruins picks up his second foul, and Alonzo G back at the line looking for his 6th point. And that's only the 4th point for Alabama in a long time. 7.5 minutes.
This UCLA defense has really clamped down in the second half, especially on Ronald Steele. Jamario Davidson picked up his 4th foul. He's
about to nail down their 20th straight win, the longest active streak in the nation, and end Mike Davis's coaching career at Indiana. Let's take you to San Diego, Alabama, and UCLA. Dick and Jeff.
Here the tension building. 5.5 minutes remaining in this second round game. UCLA and Alabama. The Bruins lead by 4. Aflalo got away with a walk. Gets it inside. Mute and a foul.
penetration. Alabama caught helping up. And anytime you help up the lane, you are going to leave somebody open for a possible, really probable layup. And Alabama's man-to-man defense has been cut up by UCLA.
Mute's missed 3 free throws in a row. They get the rebound back, the Bruins, but Bozeman missed the long 3. Mario Davidson, do you bring him back soon?
I think you do. I think Mark Gottfried may be waiting until the 4-minute timeout. But I think you got to think long and hard about bringing him back right away.
And Richard Hendricks not playing like a freshman. Cooley banks it home. He has 11. 55-51. Just under 5 to go.
That is not a smart play by Jean-Felix.
Slapping in, you've got to call that foul.
80, Gonzaga closing in on a Sweet 16 berth. Let's get you back to San Diego. Dick Enberg and Jay Billis.
And a foul on Farmer. That'll be his 4th.
The set play, Hendricks coming up to the high post and looking for the back door. UCLA picks it off, passes ahead, and Aflalo does a nice job of hesitating, letting Steele run past and still finishing the play off the glass.
Jean-Felix, 31 against Marquette, just 4 against UCLA. Misses his first free throw. He's 2 for 3 today.
Farmar just reaching across and getting the wrist of Jean-Felix as he's going up. That's his 4th foul. They'll have to go to the bench for a short rest. It won't be out long.
Darren Collison will take over at point guard, the freshman. Felix, 1 out of 2. Bama 14 for 18 from the line in this game. That's kept them close. And as Jay Billard, Mute, Aflalo, a tough runner. Alonzo G tips it to himself. Wisely gets it in the hands of Ronald Steele. Meanwhile, the final end, as you can see, Gonzaga has advanced to the Sweet 16 with a win in the final game, coaching Mike Davis at Indiana. Nice. Oh, what a pass! And then the block and a foul. Timeout in San Diego. 3:29 to go. The Bruins lead a tenuous 5. Alabama has not led in the second half after the game at intermission was tied at 30. UCLA by 5. Significant. A small edge to Bama. They are in the double bonus, and that is the wife of Mark Gottfried, Elizabeth. She and their 5 children, 4 boys and a girl. They're out here to support Dad and the Alabama team, and living and dying with every dribble. And Kim Holland, wife of the UCLA coach, former Weber State cheerleader. They met while Holland played at Weber State. Richard Hendricks, the freshman for Alabama, misses the first free throw. He has 11 points in the game. Gets the second, and it's a 4-point game.
Alabama sticking with man-to-man late in this ball game. Felix on Farmar.
The zone defense is what really worked effectively in the first half, and Farmar well off the mark, and Ronald Steele collects for Alabama.
I don't think UCLA wants to settle, Dick, for jump shots right now. They need to get something going to the rim.
Felix yet to hit a 3-point shot in this game after making 8 against Marquette. You almost sense he's going to get one here at crunch time, and good save by G, who's had some ball handling problems in the second half. Steele. And Baumute, the freshman rebounding star of UCLA all season. The long pass to Hollins, and a foul. Is it on Davidson? If so, it'll be his 5th. No, they're going to call it on Hendricks. Hendricks, the freshman, and he has 3. Ryan Hollins, 7-footer. He's playing with 4 fouls for UCLA. And another miss by the Bruins. They have not shot well. They haven't had many free throws. They've missed 5 straight, and 3 of those have been on the front end of a 1-and-1.
Now it's up to Alabama to take advantage. Thus far, they haven't been able to.
3 for 9 free throw shooting UCLA. More than Achilles should Alabama rally. They're down by but 4. Closing in on 2 minutes remaining. The winner to get Gonzaga in the round of 16. The sophomore Steele hits it, and it's a 2-point game.
Talk about poise at the end of a clock. Ronald Steele going up against great defense, and now imploring his teammates to play some great defense of their own right now.
17 points to lead all scores. Flalo shut out until the second half has 10.
Alabama's got to be careful not to get caught reaching. They're leaning a little bit, and UCLA is going to take advantage of it.
Farmar with 8. He throws it away. And it's Steele, the right man in the right spot, and here comes Alabama. A long shot away from the lead, and timeout Mark Gottfried, and he's got his team fighting. UCLA's lead of 7 down to 2 here in the second half with 1:25 to go, and Alabama with the ball. All the fouls from now on will be double bonus. And for UCLA, that has been hazardous duty. They can't make a free throw.
Collison now on Steele. He's been able to stay in front of him with his great footwork and quickness.
Steele using up some clock as they look for the good shot. Down to 10. And a hand check by Collison. Official indicates that he grabbed part of the jersey of Steele as he went by. So 65 seconds left to go to Oakland in the Sweet 16.
And the wrong guy to put at the free throw line for UCLA. Basically a 90% free throw shooter, just about automatic.
Yeah, he misses one. It's headlines. 6 in a row in this one. And this one to tie as Farmar returns. UCLA used a lot of timeouts early. Oh my, missed the second, and it's 57-56. But to foul the Bruins, not the time yet, but the way they've been shooting free throws, not a bad play. 5 straight misses as Felix on Farmar. For Flalo. Bozeman, 8 on the shot clock. Flalo for 3. The leading scorer for UCLA shut out the entire first half. Comes alive, 13 here in the second half, and how big was that tray? Sends the Bruins up by 4. invitation on this Saturday night, especially for those of you still with us in the East. 48 Hours tonight features a search for a missing mother and her daughter. Look at the reset. UCLA by 4, 34 seconds to go. Both teams from now on the double bonus, and the arrow goes to the Bruins. And Aaron Aflalo with that long, tough three, 13 points for him in the last 14 minutes of this game.
30 seconds, a long time. Alabama can still get to the rim and go for two, but if it's an open three, you can pull the trigger.
Yeah, he goes for a tough three, and now another chance at a three, and he's fouled. A chance for a 4-point play as Collison got a piece of him.
Boy, Dick, the best time to shoot a three, in my judgment, is after an offensive rebound, and Richard Hendricks comes up with a big offensive rebound, and this could have been a 4-point play, not an intelligent foul by Darren Collison.
Left his feet on the fake, and Steele, who did miss his last free throw, and does the round the world on the rim before it goes down. So he's made one of his first three of these three. 19 points in the game. This one, they won't refuse to fall out for a good shooter. 2-point game. He makes the first 2 of 3.
And Ben Howland imploring his troops that a free throw block out right now is a huge play.
Alabama, 18 free throws, 19 free throws made to 3 for UCLA. 19 for 25 for the Tide, 3 for 9 for UCLA. Mark Gottfried's team down by 1, but the way the Bruins have been shooting free throws, the quick foul here makes nothing but sense to everybody in the arena, all 12,000.
As long as you can foul the right person. One guy you don't want to foul is Aaron Aflalo, shoots over 80%. And even Luke Richard Mbah-a-Moute is a good free throw shooter at 75. But sometimes you don't have the choice. What Alabama wants to do, if they can get a steal, go ahead and get it. Going to put Hollinger back into the ball game, add some quickness into the lineup, and he also has some fouls to give.